Welcome back to the Rich Mentality Podcast. And today we have a special guest. But before I get into the special guest, I want to let y'all know, right? This is the podcast where we're talking about from anything from marriage, relationship, life. Just everything, entrepreneurship. And you got to keep a rich mentality throughout that whole process. So today, I want to introduce a special guest, right? We got a special guest. We got somebody who's an author. We got somebody who's a community activist. We got somebody who's a certified speaker. I'm talking about certified. They tuned in. Ladies and gentlemen, y'all got to give it up for Shametria Gonzales. Thank you for tuning in.
Hey. So proud to be here with this young man right here. I saw him on social media. It was his consistency. I reached out to him. So even though he just gave me my accolades and gave me my flowers, I'm going to run them right back, man. Straight up, Mr. 5.
5 reasons, man. Y'all already know what time
5 reasons.
Yeah. So look. Number one, before I get into it, right, I just want to tell you that I commend everything that you do. Sincerely, I want to tell you that you are a great mentor, you're a great coach, you are a great person who's doing something nice and positive in the community, and especially just being for the women, standing up for the women. And I think that we need that, especially seeing where we come from, just in our culture. Women were not able to do anything, but to see that women are starting to become empowered, I truly and sincerely, I admire that. I commend that. So that's a dope thing. So before we we finna get directly into it, y'all, because she finna drop some gems today, for sure. She finna drop some gems today.
I came ready, man.
Right?
I came ready.
Okay, so I want to ask you the first question. So what inspires you to do what you do?
My why. So I like to tell people that when you think about inspiration, the root word to that is in. And most people look outside for inspiration, but my inspiration is my why. It's my reason for waking up. And most people don't know what that is, but I say your why is the thing that is inside of you. It's like your purpose, it's your gift. It's the thing that you do without any pushback. It's the easiest thing in the world for me. And my why is motivating people. My why is what I'm doing right now. I have a young brother on the right of me, and to the left of him is a young sister. We both, I think, 90 babies, right?
Yeah.
So we grew up in a generation where we really didn't have technology, and we played outside, and then we had technology. So everybody else don't get that. We're a special breed. So it's something about encouraging us. I like with this age right here because we're the ones who are about to be the next leaders of this world. I believe that I'm a servant leader, and my why is what I do through service. My why is my gift, it's my passion, it's my motivation for waking up. I don't even need an alarm clock. Every day I wake up, I got my why on my mind, and that changes through evolution. So it's not like I can say one specific thing. It's the thing that I'm going towards every day. It's this podcast. It was my why for today. Is seeing a young brother who I see that's onto something different, that's young and that's a millennial, but he got this presence of an old soul, and I could detect that. So my why, man, and every day your why will change. Every day, every season, your why may be different. I don't have a husband right now, but when I get one, that'll be my why. As far as when it comes to what I do for him, what I serve. Right now, my husband is God. So every day I wake up, I'm trying to please him. So, that changes throughout time, but, you're going to have to find God to find me. But at the end of the day, it's just my why.
Nice. And see, I think that's something that's very commendable because a lot of people don't understand, like, why they're doing something. Yeah. So for you, I understand that you say your why, but could you get deep into what's your why? Is it your kids? Is it your dream? Is it your goals? Yeah. Like, exactly what is your why?
I would say my why in this season, because it will change, but my why in this season is I wake up and I say I want to be the best motivational speaker in the world. Not a woman, not a man, the best motivational speaker in the world. And my why is conducive to every day when I wake up, I'm doing one thing towards that. There's this thing I say, it's God, show me the stairway I have to climb, and then teach me to take one day at a time. One step at a time, one moment at a time. Therefore, my why today is my purpose. It's me being here on this show. And if I dig deep to just tell people my business, it's my legacy. It's that thing legacy that's gonna happen when I leave this earth, and people can say, Shametria Gonzales, ... It ain't my past. It ain't even what I drive or where I go. It's how I make people feel. So when I wake up in the morning, I'm always thinking, what do I need to do today, God, to please you? And then what's one thing I could do to get closer to my mission? And my mission is a lifetime. So it's a lifetime of service. So today my service is I was here, I kept my word to you. I'm able to get on a podcast and inspire and encourage and motivate people. And then last but not least, my legacy. My legacy is every person I touch. Literally.
Yeah. I hope y'all pick that up, man. See, what she's saying is that what she's doing, she's not living for the year that she was born. She's not living for the year that she may die. She's living for that little dash. Right?
Yeah.
She's living for that dash, and I like that because a lot of people don't understand that your purpose, what you actually live for, what you stand for, that is what's imperative for you to leave your legacy.
Yes.
Just like you just said, legacy.
Yes.
So look, I want to tell you this, right? You are a speaker.
Yes.
You've been traveling around the world.
Yes.
And you know I got to get directly into it, right?
Yes. I'll drop it, man, because so many speakers right now are getting milked. It's like when rappers first came out and everybody wanted to get them and they signed faulty contracts, and before they could get, things like there's this new thing, I forgot the name of it, but basically United Masters, right?
Yeah.
You could be your own record label, they're like your record label, so you could be your own independent artist. Right now, it's this thing with motivational speakers, and I feel like because I started the game 11 years ago, I knew what to look for. I knew what I was doing. But a lot of people are coming out now and they're like, oh, this is a new thing. Let me get the next best thing. Let me get them on a contract. Let me make sure that I got their dividends, their royalties, because a speaker the same as an artist. Either way it go across the board. Audiobooks, each play. And guess what? Artist songs 3 minutes. Audiobooks, your speeches average 15 minutes. So you getting more playtime, but you getting money for that. So yeah, I'm gonna drop some jewels, man. Let me know what you want to know when it comes to a speaker.
Now I'm asking a selfish question. This is a selfish question, right?
Yeah.
I love all my people, but selfish question. So what about a speaker's bureau? Exactly what is that?
Okay, so a speaker's bureau, Keynote, Toastmasters, 10X Academy. These are places where they have a list of meeting planners. Any speaker that wants to get booked, you need a meeting planner, because meeting planners are the ones who hold the budgets to allow you to come in and to get booked to speak. So any of those organizations that I just mentioned, they have connections with meeting planners. So it's basically like this. You sign up for a fee to be a part of like a casting agency. If you're an actor, you need a casting agency. And then they send your information out, and then you get booked, and then they get a percentage. That's a speaker's bureau. For me, I'm an independent speaker.
Got you.
I cut the middleman out because I go directly to the source. I learned how to campaign. I did go to each one of those places, Toastmasters, Speaking Right to Make Millions with Lisa Nichols. I went to Les Brown's. I went to Tony Robbins. I went to Pete Ferguson's 10X Stages, Pat Quinn's Signature Talk. I went to all of these things, invested thousands and thousands of dollars. But you know what that means? I get a 100% percentage. I own Shametria Gonzales. Shametria Gonzales incorporated under me. I don't need anybody to put me out there because I built up my social media. I built up my campaign. I got a speaker's reel. And then I learned how to market and prospect. You need 2 things to be a speaker: clarity and customers. Clarity in what your speech is, customers to keep you booked.
Wow.
Yeah.
And see, a lot of people don't understand that as a speaker, because I think when you are trying to do something, whether it's music, whether any industry, there's these things that are obstacles that you have to go through. These are obstacles, and and when you don't understand it until you actually go through it. And I think that you've been able to get through it and say, hey, look, y'all, it's a light on the other side of this tunnel. You don't have to do it that way. And the way I look at it is like a speaker's bureau is like a record label.
Yes.
It's exactly like a record label, but only for motivational speakers.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, and if you look right now, there's this thing, it's called a catch-21 or pay to play. They're saying if you want to be a speaker, we want to book you to speak, but you got to go through this first. So they'll say that they're going to get you bookings, but really you have to take their course or take their class or So my thing is, I did take them, but they never got me booked. Couple podcasts. I'm not knocking anybody. But what I am saying is you have to build relationships. You have to build relationships with other speakers, and my best method is called championing. Here's the beauty of a speaker. Speakers speak at things that are mostly annual gala, annual conference. That means if you do a good job, you're going to get booked the next year. So when you go, the first year going to be hard. I've been 11 years in the game. I spoke for free for a very long time. Now it's a non-negotiable. I only speak for free when I decide to choose it, meaning that it's something that I can get a ROI, a return on the investment. If there's 100,000 people there as a speaker, my job is to go on stage and I could do one or two things. I could speak for free, but ask to pitch. That means when I speak on stage, I pitch my product. You don't gotta pay me nothing, because I know I got 100,000 prospects that got my attention right now. This better than Facebook ads. This is the best form of conversion. Conversion means I have a product. I want to convert somebody to buy that product. I need something in between, like marketing or advertisement. When you're a speaker, you're a walking advertisement. So I get on stage. They didn't pay me nothing. I paid for my own flight, my own trip, because it's 100,000 people. You think Essence got to pay me to come speak?
No.
Essence. I'm just saying.
Let's go.
I was in New Orleans for 11 years. Get me if you can. But they don't. So it's knowing strategy. So that's one way. The other one is called shared revenue. That means the stage is big. They pay you a fee, but it's not the fee that they can afford. Always go big on your fee, okay? Because you could come down, but you can't go up. Speakers, do not be afraid to go big. 25,000.
You say you can come down, but you can't go up.
You can't go up. So if I say 20,000 and they say, okay, and I'm like, oh shoot, I need 25.
Got you.
But if I said 25 and they're like, I said, well, I'll take it to, the lowest I could go is 15, and then I'm gonna need to, probably need a booth for free. I'm gonna need transportation. I'm gonna need a driver, because I don't wanna be stressed out before I go. This is called a speaker kit. A speaker reel is different than a speaker kit.
Gotcha.
A speaker kit is where you have everything compiled into one kit that says your travel, it says your preference of hotel, it says, y'all, speakers are some of the highest paid individuals in the world. Effective communicators. The president is a speaker. He's a professional speaker. What do you think?
Look, and I want to elaborate on saying this too as well, right? So anybody that's looking for a high-paid job, having the ability to communicate, like she said, is one of the highest-paid jobs, period. I don't care if you're doing IT. I don't care if you're a pilot. I don't care if you're saving lives. If you understand how to communicate a message, meaning articulate something to get other people to understand it, then you're able to get paid.
Yes.
That's a bag. Hey, man, y'all got to tune in. She dropping the gems. All right, so look. So the next thing I want to get into.
Yeah.
Grant Cardone. Stormy. Elena. I mean, it's so many people that you was in front of. Pete Vargas. The 10X conference.
Yeah.
Give me that experience.
Man, okay, so I like to feel, the people love the lights, right? But I want to tell them how I got there. I showed up in the room. I invested into myself. There was this thing called the Great American Speak Off. It was a TV show. I was a little skeptical because I'm like, I got to pay money to, to kind of start. There, you could go VIP or you could go regular. I go there, I get in a room. That wasn't enough. It got me there. So basically I tried out, everything was good. I got a ticket to Miami. So in Miami, they said, look, we are gonna host a 10X Stages workshop. Y'all already good enough to go to Miami. It was 30,000 people that tried out for this audition. 165 made it. They gave us a golden ticket to go to Miami. In Miami, Grant Cardone, Pete Ferguson, Coach Stormy, Elena, Pat Quinn, all of these amazing speakers. They're the best at what they do. Coach Stormy's the best multi-level marketer. Pete Ferguson is the best at booking stages. Grant Cardone is the #1 real estate guru in the world. Like Elena Cardone, Grant wouldn't be Grant without Elena. So I'm gonna have to honor that,
100%.
So all of these people were there and they offered a workshop, but it was $3,000. So I said, I already got a golden ticket. The workshop is 2 days before. The speak off is 2 days after. In that workshop, I got to say my speech in front of Grant and Stormy. Pete Ferguson got to work with me one-on-one. The next 2 days after that, so face recognition, investing in myself. Everybody that made it to the top 30 after that had all went through the program. I'm not saying that it was rigged. What I'm saying is the people that showed up, that paid the money, that invested in themselves, that took the extra 2 days to get the condition and the training, why wouldn't I go and figure out exactly what they want if I'm about to compete in a show that's about to be on national television in front of millions of viewers? So I made that investment. I went, and I think because they saw me and they critiqued me, The next day, I get there. 30 people are about to perform in front of the judges live. They take it down to 10. They say, all right, now we get to go on stage. Y'all are gonna be on the show regardless if you make it or not. I thought that was cool too. I get up there, they call the 3 finalists because only 3 people could go. I wasn't one of them. I didn't make the cut. So they call us off stage. Grant Cardone goes, hold on, y'all. Something don't feel right.
Yeah.
He was like, look, I got 3 powerful multimillionaire men up there. And they were. It was tough competition. He said, there's one woman, and I got A-list celebrities. This one woman that's so powerful, I would trade her for them any day. Wow. He said, Shametria Gonzales, come back to the stage. Y'all, I almost passed out. And the reason that I gotta tell y'all that story is because some things you may think are not for you. You may not, I'm not a multimillionaire, I'm a multi-thousandaire, okay?
Let's go.
But I'm getting to the millions.
Still get to the bag.
But the beauty of that was if I would have did it on my own, I wouldn't have thanked God. Like I would have knew that I got there. But it's something about my anointing and my presence and my calling that let me walk off stage. And God said, but I got a special spot for you. And if you would have got it in the top 3, you would have thought you did that. But I want to create a spot for you so you know that I make waves. I move mountains. Just like Moses parted the Red Sea, I got you. So my humility, my energy, my thankfulness, I just kept saying, thank you, God, not thank you, Grant, because God put it on his heart to create a space for me. They was only taking 3 to Growth Conference. It wasn't a woman, but God had space for that because I am a leader for women. I am a visionary for women. I am somebody just like Rosa Parks, just like Harriet Tubman. Harriet Tubman was a narcoleptic. She used to fall asleep leading people out to the Underground Railroad.
Talk about it.
I was dyslexic. I was born with crack in my system.
Talk about it.
I was sexually trafficked. I was a foster child. It's something about that makes what I just won so much greater. So all of that to say, guys, I had to share that with you. That is my real, y'all gonna see it on TV. I can't tell you what network because I got an NDA. For business people, that's called a non-disclosure agreement, okay?
Drop the gem. She tuning in.
But we get there, basically, that's what got me. I like to tell the backdrop because that's what got me to Growth Conference. Growth Conference is the biggest conference for entrepreneurs in the world, multimillionaires and billionaires. And guess what? Their tickets cost $50,000 to $2,500. $2,500 is the lowest ticket. My ticket was free.
That's favorite.
It don't matter how much money you got. It don't matter where you going. It don't matter where you been. All that matters is what happened when you in that present moment. The present moment is a present. And when you there, you might just get a gift. I'm telling you, it was beautiful. I got there, I think it was like 10,000 people in the audience, 15,000 people online. I go on there, I do my thing, I hit them with all of my story and stuff. And afterwards, let's just say I'm booked to August. I just got another booking for 10,000 in January of 2024. Luck is what happens when preparation meets the opportunity. I didn't get lucky to go on that stage. I've been speaking for free for over 11 years. Now I get paid and booked. Just like Nipsey, people didn't see when he was back grinding. Just like 50 Cent when he got shot up and was trying to rewire his mouth and just rap. Just like Kanye West when he had went through the wire and he had got that car accident and he had to rap. Like, it's something about the people that had the stories of the pain that God finally let them through that door and it's smooth sailing from there. So Growth Conference was the best experience of my life.
Sound like you had to persevere. Not only that, it took a great deal of faith. And one of the things I like to say, yes, sir, I like to say this. I like to say, God will turn your mistake into a miracle. So meaning the fact that something, whatever happened, whatever it was, Grant maybe didn't see the greatness, but God turned that mistake into a miracle.
Yes.
Whether it was your mistake, whether it was Grant's mistake, but he turned that mistake into a miracle, showing you that he's leading you to your destination. And see, a lot of people don't understand that your destination is a current presence, but your destiny is something that you'll always have because your favor is all over your life. Your favor and your anointing is all inside your soul. It's in your essence. So can't nobody take nothing away from you.
No.
See, your your destiny is something that God has over you. And I love your story because it seems that you had to persevere to get to where you was.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I
so
did.
Look, I like that. I like that. So was it like, did you feel the pressure being on stage or anything?
Yes. So I'll tell you guys what I did. We was backstage. I was sweating. Now here's the thing, and this is true story. This is what I was worried about. When you get to a level like that, get you a stylist because your stylist can get you partnership. So I had a partnership with Christian Dior and Louis Vuitton, meaning I had Christian Dior shoes on and Louis Vuitton shoes and a Christian Dior dress. I was sweating. So the whole time in my head, I'm like, how am I gonna get this dress back? Because I'm sweating. Like, I'm just like, it was the littlest things that you wouldn't think of that it was kind of bothering me. But I did this little trick and I rubbed the palms of my hand and then I rub my fingers together, because what happens when you do that is you create friction, and it takes kind of your blood pressure down. So either you could do the middle of your palm, or you could rub your two index fingers together and with your thumb, and you could just do like this, and you repeat affirmations, because what happens when you do that is you start to affirm and speak over your life. So I said, I'm worthy of this stage, and I've already won. I'm worthy of this stage, and I've already won. And then I did box breathing. It's 4-4-4. You breathe in for 4, you hold it for 4, and then you breathe out for 4. When you breathe in through your nose. When you let out through your mouth. So it looks like that instantly slows your heart rate down. And I just kept repeating that. And then I started to see, like, this is my dream come true. Like, it's something that happens when you think of, like, this, like when you got a dream, that's cool. But when you're in your dream, it's like you woke up.
Yeah, somebody wake me up.
Yeah, like somebody wake me up. Like, this can't be for real. Like, bro, I'm here. And then it was showtime. And I remember, your gift make room for you. Your gift is the thing you do without any effort. It's just easy for you. So after I got past myself, my gift took over. I walked out on that stage. It was fire everywhere. My picture was up everywhere. The whole crowd, I was the only woman. So everybody knew that because he announced me like that. So the whole crowd stood up and they just showing me love, and I'm soaking in the energy. I get up there, I do my thing. The judges tell me what's up. When I walk off, the crowd was cheering so loud. Even when I got off the stage, they were still standing up cheering. I'd never experienced nothing like that in my life. But it was the pressure. I got my pressure points down, changed up my mindset a little bit, and then, walked off stage.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow. So I want to take a pivot, right? And number one, congratulations on that again. But I gotta take a pivot because you are a person who actually went through it. You were a person who actually you started from the bottom.
Yeah.
Literally. Would you be able to go into the times when you was sex trafficked? Like, because I think a lot of women have to understand that this is not only a trending topic, but it's a big problem in the community. So can you talk about when you were sex trafficked and then you went to becoming a person of rape prevention?
Yes,
right?
yes. So what he's referring to is being a foster child. I didn't have people that looked up to me. So I suffered from two things. That's abandonment and rejection. And this is stuff I found out afterwards. So I'm speaking to you after I've already went through counseling, therapy, healing, transformation, conferences, groups with women that are pouring into me, right, and telling me these things. But at 12 years old, as a foster child, I really just thought no one loved me. I am black and Spanish, so I didn't fit in. Like, my hair was really long. I had a curvaceous body. So when you're 12, that's fat. Like, to be like, they're making fun of you for that. So I just was really hurt. So around 15 years old, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to emancipate myself. So that emancipation is where you take yourself to court and you say, look, I'm legally grown. I don't want to be a part of this system anymore. I need to be by myself. And I did that. So the crazy part about that is that it made me think I was grown, right? And when you think you're grown, you do grown things. 100%. So for myself, it wasn't bad grown things. It was getting a job. I got a job at Sonic Drive-In, and I was very vocal about my grownness, right? And there's predator, and then there's prey. So the predator is the person who looks for you. The prey is the young girls that they target. So prey normally is foster children, women who have run away, young girls or transgenders or gay guys. Let's not forget that, because that's a big part of what was there too. So I was at Sonic Drive-In, and these girls pull up in a nice whip. I always like nice things. So, I grew up real poor, but to me, nice, to me was having a house with Central AC, So it was
Right.
like, to me, this was an extravagant thing. They pulled up in like drop tops, and they kept coming to Sonic Drive-In, and they would ask me stuff like, girl, they would say, you so pretty, like how much money you be making and stuff. I'm like, $100 a day, I'm lit. I was serious too. And so, they started to vet me. So that means they're looking and prying into my personal life. So they asked me stuff like, where your parents at? Why you working all the time? I'm like, shoot, I live by myself. I'm grown. I emancipated myself. I'm a student athlete. I was very proud. And they would say stuff like, man, you need a family. I didn't care about money. So that didn't get me. Their cars and stuff was cool. It just kind of intrigued me. But what got me was when they said, you need family. You can't be out here by yourself. So I'm like, all right, cool. What's up? Like, I stay by myself, but I could save money. It was like, man, you don't got to pay for nothing. Nothing?
It's like a trap.
Like, okay. Then it was like, you get a whip, you get a house. All you got to do is come be with us, come be family. It's like a gang. You locked in, we chain gang. I'm like, all right, cool. I know what none of that meant. I was a country girl. I moved to the city. I just knew I wanted to be a student athlete. I wanted to go to college. And these girls showed up, and I was like, man, I want a family. So I started going with them. First, we started off as waitress. And so it wasn't like anything in a club or anything. That's why I want to tell people. People think of trafficking as pimping or taking. Taking
Yes.
was the movie
Yes.
where they just take you and
Get
drug you
you,
up
yeah.
and then rape you.
Yeah.
That's not trafficking.
It's the movies.
That's the movies.
Yeah.
Pimping, that's in black culture. Like, white people don't really even understand what that means. Like, pimping all over the world. That ain't cool, son, because it's really trafficking. You taking a woman, you coercing her mind, you making her do stuff for you. It's not her choice. To have a choice means that you are consciously perceiving what you're doing. These women are broken. So therefore, they're thinking they're doing this for the love of a man. And they give everything to him. If they don't, you get beat, you get in trouble, you get locked in chains, you get, and when I say chains, I mean ropes. Like, he tied me up one time in ropes and put stuff over my mouth, like tape over my mouth, because I talk too much. As you can tell, I'm a speaker. But that was my punishment. He said I talked too much. I was talking to this man too much, and I could get us in trouble. I could bring the whole organization down.
Right.
So I stopped talking after that for a minute. I just was, I was different. But basically, the women got me in. We started off in very expensive hotels in the penthouses doing poker tournaments. Then it was like, okay, this ain't enough money. My fee was $1,000 a day to start. I was making way over that. Just waitressing. They'll touch you and stuff, but I was just waitressing. So then after about a year, because remember, this is psychological, and I'm going to tell you exactly what books and stuff like that he used, and I figured it all out after I got out. But that was semi-trafficking. That was more so vetting me. Second thing was, he was like, look, you older now, you still in school and stuff, but I know how you can make some better money, because we about to level this up. You're going to be a porn star. You're going to be the feature porn star at every club. I'm like, okay. Because this is somebody I looked at as a god. This man was everything to me. His name was Snake.
Yeah.
Symbol.
Yeah.
But the girls loved him. He was really nice to us at first. This is what a narcissist does. They give you something so great with no intention of ever giving it back to you. So you chase it and you chase it, and you just keep chasing it because you fiending for it. He messed with me physically, and the way it was, he was just like a womanizer. So I never did, like, it was all crazy stuff, and it made me crazy. Like, I just wanted it again, and he would never do it. So it was like I was chasing him, kind of trying to be the top girl, and girls are competitive. So like, we trying to see who could get the most money to give to him. So he said, I got this new thing called Molly. He was like, it'll make you forget everything. Now, we in the big leagues. He was like, $2,500 a day is nothing for you. I'm a student athlete. I'm competitive. I'm like, shoot, got you. $2,500 a day. Taking this drug over and over. I'm waking up, and I'm very transparent. So if anybody,
you
know what
are
I'm saying?
good. You are good.
So I started having woman problems, and I'm like, something ain't right. Like, we never could go to the doctor. We had a private doctor. So the doctor would come in, give us a shot, and it'd go away, and it just kept doing that. Every time you have a girl problem, your pH off or something like that, he just give you. So I don't know what. I still to this day don't know what it was, but I started to have. So that means that they was having unprotected sex with me. I knew when I was just waitressing and stuff like that. Sometimes you do, have sex with a man, but you strap up because you're conscious. So I'm like, man, something not right. Like this Molly stuff is cool, but I don't ever remember nothing. And it's like I fade out throughout the night because we'd be in private brothels, we'd be at clubs, like in the back though. We'd be in VIP rooms and stuff. And honestly, it was celebrities. Like I wouldn't know, small time, just on the walk in the street. Nah, this was multi-million-dollar money, bro. Yeah. And like I would see when we come in, it would be stacks of money, like 20. It was over 100 girls. It was all these houses. Like we were really a big family. It was in Dallas, Texas, Frisco, Texas, Louisville, the Colony, Colleyville, the most influential, rich areas in the state of Texas. So this is me looking back. I didn't know it at the time. Back on it. So I wake up, see what's going on or whatever. It was 3 strikes that got me out of it. The first one was 3 months go by, I don't have a period. So I'm like, man, this is crazy. Like, I can't keep doing this. So I'm like, I must be pregnant. I go call the doctor, private doctor. He's like, you pregnant, but you too far. Because anytime they got pregnant, they would give us the pill or take the baby out. Like, you can't have no baby. You're going to mess up the money. Exactly. But I really didn't know, and I was really slim, but I was always kind of thick. So I didn't start showing until like 6 months. I was about 5 months at that time. So I was and I think what they was pumping us up with, it kept our cycle away anyways. So we really didn't know. So I was already 5.5 months pregnant. So I kept my child, you know what I'm saying? And at the time, I had a guy who I was kind of dealing with. I told him it was his. And he was like, look, I'm going to be there for you. Long story short, I told him the truth after a while. He still was there for that child. To this day, he got her tatted on his leg, and she with his family right now. They my family. That's real. They still been there for me. I have to honor that in every story I tell because you got some real people out there. And I got to honor my mistakes. I was scared. The only person who ever loved me, he didn't know what I did. He just, knew I was out and I was working, and he thought I was maybe a dancer or a waitress or whatever because I was really quiet and I was really silent about what I did. And I didn't tell nobody. That was the rules to it. So the first strike was having a baby. I didn't know who her father was, but that was cool, She a beautiful girl. Her name Avriana. She 13, wrote a book together. She's been all on the news with me and stuff.
Yeah, I want to get in that too.
Gotta turn it around.
It's deep.
Gotta turn it around. Yeah. So strike 2, and I'm gonna wrap it up. Okay. But strike 2 was, they was giving us something, and I really didn't know what it was so we could forget. So after I had my baby, I still went back. It's something psychological in me, like when it's all you know, that's all you know. Yeah. And so I went back again. I'm still there. Not like I really had a choice because he knew where I lived at. Like I was really scared of the person, but I just made excuses. So I went back. Me and my friend Cinnabons, we go on a mission. We call it missions, and I'm shaking her. Like I woke up. We always wake up. That was my thing. Wake up. And so I woke up and I'm like shaking. I'm like, say, Cinnabons, wake up. We gotta go. Like I got school. I got a tournament. Like that was my thing. So Cinnabons didn't wake up. And so I'm shaking her. I call up the madam. The madam is the house mom who would watch over. She watched the money. She watched the house. She don't do nothing. She just an OG. So she like, look, keep your mouth shut and come home. I'm about to send a car for you. Let Cinnabon stay there. She gonna be straight. We're gonna send a doctor over there. I never saw Cinnabons again. I don't know what happened to Cinnabons.
That's crazy.
I don't and so what hurt me was that could have been me. So drastic change comes with drastic results. And that was drastic. That was my best friend. She was my rider. That we did everything together. She the one who brought me in the game. So I'm like, if you don't care about her, I know you don't care about me. So I started asking questions. I got beat. Tried to run me over with a car, broke my arm, all type of stuff. So I knew not to say nothing else. I still stayed there. Strike 3. I was talking to this pastor. He was undercover. I didn't know he was undercover, but he was coming talk to me, back and forth. And he was like, look, I know there's something bothering you. I never shared my feelings. Like, I'm not about to tell you what's going on with me. It was the baby, it was beat on, and then it was my girl Cinnabons. It was bigger than me at that point, so I told him what happened. That was enough to get Snake indicted. That was enough to bring down the ring. They had already, Coach Tim, his name is Coach Tim. Shout out to Coach Tim. He passed away now. But he was vetting me. He was coming every night. He was there with me. He didn't, like, I thought he was a customer. He was just like weird or something, but he really was undercover. And he basically got all the information he needed, because that was more than just trafficking. Now you're dealing with covering up a murder. So that was enough to get him indicted. So that was strike 3, because what happened was they came in, raided the place. Everybody got a prostitution charge except for me. My record clean. I don't got nothing on my record to this day. That was strike 3 for me, y'all. And I'm telling y'all, I'm not making, this is it's stuff that happened, and it's like when you hard-headed and you just, something gotta happen to make you change. I knew at that point, 1, I didn't get a prostitution charge. 2, I didn't die. 3, I finally could leave. And the whole operation shut down, so the whole dream over. So Coach Tim told me, he said, look, you a student athlete. I know you didn't graduate high school. I own a school. Take your SAT, take your ACT, write your story to every HBCU in the country. They love people like you because that's what they're there for. Shout out to the HBCUs out there, because 28 HBCUs, Spelman, Clark Atlanta, Southern University of New Orleans, Southern and Baton Rouge, all of them people offered me a scholarship because I wrote my story. I told them what happened to me. I said, look, if I come to your school, I don't have nowhere to go. I'm homeless. I don't have no money. I don't have a penny to my name, but I got a work ethic. I'm smart. I just took my ACTs. I scored a 29, a 28, and a 27. And I would do anything. And I followed up with because he was a coach, so he knew how to, give it to the coaches or whatever. I followed up with a video holding my baby. I'm like, I got a daughter. I know that, but I promise you, if you could just get both of us there, I'm going to rock with you. Southern University gave me a full scholarship, academic and athletic, a 1-bedroom apartment. They let me redshirt.
Nice.
They let my daughter come. My daughter went to every class with me. My coach, shout out to Naomi Washington. My best friend, which is her sister, shout out to Zipporah Washington. They looked after me. I was wild. Even though I went there, I didn't know what my major was until I was a junior. When they was like, well, we about to do graduation stuff. I'm like, what's a major? I went there. Yeah, I'm still in the mindset of I got to hustle to go to school. I got to be a student athlete, and I got to take care of my kids. But all I knew was 3 free meals and a house. Like, that's all I knew. So throughout that time, I played volleyball with a group of international girls from all around the country. So those girls were from Russia, Syria, Libya, China. They told me their stories, and I was humble. I'm like, man, I ain't been through nothing.
Compared to what y'all went through. Exactly.
And the most valuable document in the world is a United States passport. These girls was here on T and U visas. T visa is for work, and I think a U visa is for school. If they don't pass, they get sent back home. If they don't work, they get sent back home. We only get a passport to travel and look cute.
Exactly.
But they had a passport to be able, so all of that stuff, man, all of that stuff led me to the woman that I am today. I pushed through with perseverance. I graduated from Southern University. I went on, Southern University actually just honored me in a book with 40 other people since the invention. In 1866, Southern was founded. Since they were founded, they chose 40 people, and I was one of them, to represent them as what a HBCU experience really is about.
So I want to ask this, right?
Yeah.
Because you went through the sex trafficking, and then you turned your life around when you was able to go to college. You got your major. You're going to Georgia Southern. You doing your thing right now, and then you become a rape prevention activist.
Oh yeah.
So how did that transpire to that?
Basically what happened was you have to volunteer in college to graduate. So I started volunteering at a place called the New Orleans Family Justice Center, and they were a wraparound service for women who had been domestically abused and sexually assaulted. So it started off volunteering. I would go there and I would teach the young girls how to have safe dates, how to do healthy relationships, and these are accredited programs. We got a grant to do it. It was a not-for-profit. So I started working there, just volunteering my time, and it was beautiful. Like I would go in there and I would teach the young girls how to basically see red flags, how to understand what a healthy relationship was. I did so good at that job that the chief prosecutor of the state of Louisiana heard about me in one of my presentations, and then she hired me to be over the teen sex in the law program. So that's when I first got to start speaking, guys, and I got paid to do it. So I did say I spoke for free, but I was on salary. So I would go and I would teach kids the law, because teen sex in the law, the prosecutor would say, look, in Louisiana, there's something called Napoleonic law, Napoleonic code. It's under French mandated law. It's grandfathered in. That means that a 12-year-old and a 13-year-old is statutory rape. She said 95% of her cases were young black boys because their parents didn't know the law. Most white prosecutors or lawyers, I mean, New Orleans is a very red state, meaning conservative, racist.
100%.
So
And
she was
Republicans,
basically
and Republican too,
and
right?
Republican.
Okay.
So she was saying that basically young white kids had this information more than young black kids. So we went on a tour around all of this black student, all of the mostly, historically black schools in Louisiana. They're a charter system, meaning that they have discretion and they're privatized. It's not like a public system. So it was a lot of racism and a lot of adversity within these schools. So she was like, you need to go. She was like, I don't reflect them. I don't have a struggle. But the way you present, I know you can get through to these kids and teach them the law so they won't have to go through it, because I'm sick of seeing little black boys in my courthouse getting sexually offended, being called a sexual offender. That's on their record forever. They have to register forever. They can't get jobs. They can't even stay in certain places. And this happens to them at 12 years old. So it was just a life of advocacy. And then I went from being a rape prevention educator to the outreach coordinator to the person over the teen sex and the law program. Then I started working for the Justice and Accountability Center. Everything I did was just about advocacy. It was about hard work. It was about serving. It was about helping other people, because I really had survivor's remorse. That's where it's like, why did I get out? Mm-hmm. Why didn't I die? Like, why me?
And there's other people that's still going through it.
And there's other people that's still going through it. So I just served and served and served. And so even from there, like, it was like one thing after the next. And then I was like, after a while, I was like, you know what? I have all these not-for-profits. I might as well start my own, because I did every position at the not-for-profits. Then I opened up Home for Grace with my friend Sophia Willits. And that's a house that we bought for women who have been sexually trafficked, right? So it's like, it wasn't just one thing of advocating. It was just this whole array of things that I did in order to get me to another level. I created a reentry program for women that got out of prison, that had been assaulted, to help them heal from past traumas. So, it's a journey, and it all stemmed from what you make it out of qualifies you to help those that are still in it.
All right, so I want to also ask you about this thing that you got. You got the PPP, right? A lot of people, I'm not talking about the PPP that you got for $20,000, $40,000. I'm talking about the Shametria Gonzales PPP. So could you elaborate on that?
Yeah, man, I was just thinking about the word PPP, and I get these acronyms, and I said, the real PPP is where you turn your pain into purpose and then your purpose into profit. And I know that may seem like an acronym that's just put together, but literally it's my life. A lot of people turned my pain into their profit. And I said, I'm gonna stick something in between that. I'm gonna stick my purpose in between that and split it up. Because what happens when you have a story like mine, they want you to fundraise, they want you to talk for free, everybody just wants to know your story, and they're like so intrigued. It actually makes them feel better about their life because they didn't have it as bad, right? So the PPP is where I take people on a journey and I show them. First, I help them find their pain. First, I help them identify their pain and heal from that pain. Then I help them use that pain and that strength of the power that they got from healing from it to find their purpose. And then once you got your purpose, man, you need profit. So you can continue to on that journey. So that's exactly what I do right now.
Yes, sir. So look, man, you are author as well.
Yes.
You are author. You wrote 2 books, one
Yes.
featuring your daughter,
Yes.
Reflection I See,
Yes.
which is a deep topic or a deep subject, and also the HBCU experience,
Yeah.
which you elaborated on early on
Yeah.
in this podcast. So can you tell me how both books came about?
Yep. Me and my daughter's book came about because, and I'll be honest and really frank, when my daughter asked me who her father was, it was the scariest moment in my life. And I was like, Avery, I told her the truth. And she was like, I'm sweating, like I'm tripping. I'm like, she gonna be embarrassed by me. Like, this is horrible. And she was like, I told her what happened. She said, oh, so that mean God, my father? Man, bruh. Still to this day, I can't say that without getting a little tingle in my body, because in that moment, I realized she was a reflection of me. That's some stuff I would say. I remember that I was innocent at one point, and that was my innocence. That's why God gave me her, so I could see myself differently. So I started thinking. The subtitle of the book says, "We are free through conscious perception. We are enslaved by anything we do not consciously perceive." And if you don't understand the simplest way, if you don't know something, it got you. Once you know, you own it. That's simple. And I did it with my daughter because I was like, you know what? I didn't have nobody to be there for me. And if I could do this right now and make her 10 steps ahead of the game, why not? So I don't knock celebrities and stuff that be putting their kids on, man. If you could, you would, and I did.
Exactly.
So, because I could. And then the HBCU experience, a woman by the name of Ashley Little came to me, and she said, look, I have a vision. I'm going to be doing HBCUs all across the country. And I believe that everybody has a story, and that HBCUs are underfunded and they're under recognized. And Beyonce just came out and did the stomp and stuff, and people just see HBCUs as these, dancing and all that stuff. She said, but it's so much more than that, because it really was the caveat for every person who started off like we did, that needed that type of love, that needed that type of community. And she was like, I'm picking 40 people, and your name was recommended through the grapevine. I still don't know who told her about me, but she told me what she was gonna do. She said, I got 40 other authors. All the proceeds go to Southern University's library. I was a big reader, so I'm like, bet. Nice. So that's how the HBCU experience came about. And I got one more. I'm writing this book right now because it's gonna be the best one of all.
Yeah, let's go.
It's called Think and Be Healed.
Think and be healed. Not think and grow rich, but think and be healed. And I want to elaborate on this as well. I think in our communities, especially the Black community, right? And also you have a heritage in the Hispanic.
Mexican.
Yeah, so my granddad's Cuban, by the way, too.
Oh, I knew it.
Yeah, my granddad's Cuban. But so, think and be healed, meaning you have to have some type of emotional intelligence. You have to be emotionally intertwined with yourself. Like, you got to understand, we got mental traumas. We got real mental traumas. And I think that in order for you to have your mind right, you got to have your emotions right, right? You got to have your emotions right to have your mind right. Yes. So think and be healed.
Think and be healed.
That's a deep topic. A lot of people, and also, some people make temporary, permanent decisions off of temporary emotions.
Yep.
Like, you can be feeling some type of way, and you're going to make a permanent decision off that temporary emotion, and it alters your life for the rest of your life.
Yes.
So understand, think and be healed.
Think and be healed.
That's dope.
And the only concept with that one is basically Think and Grow Rich was the best book in the world. There's something called SEO, and this is some game for y'all. Search engine optimization. That's like, Google is the social media of all times. Those other platforms will go away, but Google won't. So search engine optimization is like knowing the game on how to get the algorithm of social media, but it's in Google. Every time somebody type Think and, they're gonna type Think and Grow Rich forever. It's the #1 book in the world for a long time. It was behind the Bible, sorry. But it's called a catch. Anytime somebody puts Think and Grow Rich, Think and Be Healed pops up second. It's strategy.
Game.
Yeah.
Game. Search engine optimization. Y'all make sure. And also, y'all master the algorithm. Master the algorithm. The algorithm is what's going to push you out to the masses and the masses of the people, man, for sure. So, I have a segment on the podcast, and it's one way to make $1 million. So I need y'all to tune in. One way to make $1 million with Shametria Gonzales.
All right.
Give us the game. Give us the game.
So when you told me about this one, I thought about all the ways, because for myself, I have had accumulated an estate that's worth $1 million. But to have it at one time, I didn't have this. I said, how did I get the $1 million in estate, in network, in people? So I said, okay, the one way that I'm doing right now to make $1 million is courses. I know it may seem simple. I'm doing it through something called ClickFunnels.
Nice.
So all I want you to think of is the world. And you have a fishing rod. And you stick your fishing rod out and you pull people into your bucket. So any ad that you've ever seen, they have something called click ad, click here, click there, click there. And what it does is it brings people into your email list for profit. I'm telling you, this is $1 million worth of game.
Hey, y'all tune in.
You basically get you a funnel. A funnel, it lets stuff funnel to you. Customers. You need customers and clarity to be a millionaire. Because you need clarity and customers. Once you get clarity, then you get customers because you're clear on who it is that you have. So you create something called an ad. Most people think, it's just an ad, put $5. Let me tell y'all something. Google spends $1 billion a year on ads. All of the top, Chick-fil-A, Walmart, Amazon, they spend over $1 million a month on ads, over $100,000 a day. Some people spend $1 million a day on ads. But it means nothing if you don't have capacity to hold the people once you get them. That's what your funnel does. A funnel brings people to your bucket. I chose courses because I'm a coach. I needed to monetize and scale without being able to put me there coaching every person. So I created an ad. I created a course, which is a tool. A course is a product. It's a digital product. It's me, but I could sell it without having to physically be there. Then I created the ad and the funnel to be able to pull people into my email list for profit. Your email list is everything. Because if you put something advertising on social media or Google or anywhere you put it, you don't know if they're going to see it. But once you get that email list for profit, you can then use that list in order to be able to send one button and your product goes to everybody. So if you have 100,000 people on your email list and you click one button with one email that has a product in it, you're making passive income because you've already built. There's 3 things that you get when you build this ad, when you build this funnel: warm, cold, and hot clientele. Hot clientele is the people you already know. You hot clientele to me. Because if I call you and I say I got something, you already know me.
100%.
So you going to do it maybe off of GP just because I probably did something for you.
Just out the strength.
Off the strength.
For sure.
Warm is your email list. That's people that have come into your funnel and they're in your world. Top funnel is cold. That's where you put the ad out and nobody knows you, but they click on you and you get their information. Google is a $1 trillion company because they are the biggest sellers of information in the world. Information is important. So when it comes to making money, get real clear on what it is you want to do. Get yourself a digital asset. Digital asset is something that's you, but it can be monetized because it's digital. Make an ad so you can get more people in your funnel and then run it. And to run it means put up $5 a day. Test it out small. Don't do too much. If that $5, look at it this way. Re-up. A dope dealer. Sorry, y'all. This analogy just came in. Okay? Some people may understand this analogy. He got $100,000. He buys something for $70 that can make him $500. Are you willing to put the $70 out to bet on yourself to make $500,000 in return? It's the same thing with ads. You put out $50,000 for an ad, it make you $160. I'm cool with that percentage.
But you gotta be willing to invest in yourself.
You gotta be willing to invest in yourself. You gotta be willing to invest in yourself. And you know what? Can I give one more?
Go ahead.
See, he said just one, but I'm gonna give one for some. You ain't got no money. This is what I did to make my first $100,000.
Okay.
I didn't have no money. All I had was a strategy. It's called wholesaling. The market changing. People going into foreclosure. So what I would do, and this is another way that I did it, so I'm giving y'all 2 because I feel like the one I just gave you, you do have to have a budget, you do have to have a business, but if you ain't got nothing, this one just popped in my head because this is what I had, nothing. What I did was I built the email list for profit. The email list is the same in any business, y'all. Every business got an email list. I built the email list for profit with just random people. Then I started targeting it because I started looking at rich people and getting their emails, CEOs, banks, all that stuff. Because I knew they were going to be investors. I bought 3 lists. You could buy these lists on the black web. You could buy these lists publicly. Just type in inheritance, foreclosure, and tax default. This is called wholesaling. It's where you ain't got no money, but you bought 3 lists of people that got a reason to want to sell their property. Then you built a list of people that want to buy property called investors. You start calling those people, telling them that you want to buy their property. Did y'all know that when you buy a property, all it means is you send them a contract, they sign it, and it's yours? So what I did was I looked for people, 3 lists of people that wanted to sell their property, tax default, foreclosure, inheritance. I built my list of investors. I started calling, and then I got my first deal. I said, hey, my name's Shametria Gonzales. I know a lot of people, Hurricane Katrina just happened. A lot of people in the market right now, they want to get rid of their property, but they selling it to these investors outside of our community. It's a black community. Let's keep the block black. Let me buy it back from you. I know you're going through foreclosure right now, but I promise you I can make it worth your while. You don't have to stress about that. Let me take that off your hands. Boom. I got it. There's something called an ARV, after repair value. It's a formula. I got it. If you want it, I'll send it to you. Depending on what market, but I'm always up for giving out free information because this is real.
For sure.
So get you a list of people that want to sell. Find people that are rich, that anybody that you know that got money, that want to buy from you, that want to make money. Anybody, it could be the dope man. It could be anybody that you know that got some money, that want to buy something that you know you can get them a profit. Call the people, tell them you want to buy it. You could legal Zoom, get a blank contract, send it to them. Once they sign, they give you something called a contract. The contract means you own a property. Every house has to do something called a title search when they sold. That gives you 2 weeks to sell that property. If you buy the property for $20,000, you know that after repair value is $180,000. After they repair any minor fixes or whatever. Some of the houses wouldn't even need no fixing. Figure that out. Send 1 email to your list of sharks. Hey guys, I got a property that I got for $20,000 under contract. It's mine. Who want it? You're not gonna tell them 20. Tell them 100,000. They only gonna say, you're shitting me. I'm sorry, you're shooting me.
We gotta keep it clean.
Sorry, you're shooting me.
You good.
We're gonna do $50,000. We're gonna do $40,000. That's cool with me, because I got it for 20. So I'm gonna send it out and I'm gonna times it times 5, period. Don't cut yourself short, because they know they gonna make something off of it.
And it's almost like going back to what you said earlier. You said you can go down, but you can't go up. And that's with anything in business. And that stuck with me.
Anything with life.
Anything in life.
Anything in life.
Okay.
So, and if anybody, I'm giving this game because if anybody is interested, I can shoot you some information. Y'all, we all about passing that information on because I already made my money on it. So I'm going to get that information to y'all, get it to him. So basically, you got the list, you made the calls, you got the property under contract, you sent it to your sharks, your phone going to start ringing. They going to start calling. They're going to say, man, I want to negotiate. I'll give you $50,000 for it. Man, I can't take 50, bro. I paid 50 for it. Yeah. I'm breaking even. 55. All right, man, because I like you and because you been doing business with me, I got you. But make sure you got me, bro. Don't play with me. Make sure you going to come through. You got to talk and negotiate. Remember what we said? The most effective and highly paid people are people that could what? Communicate. So I communicated with him. That was my first deal. This is a true story. I made $10,000 on it because finally his deal didn't go through, whatever. Sold it for $30,000. I had it under contract for $20,000. Made my first $10,000.
Nice. Y'all heard what she said. So the main two, if y'all wasn't able to decipher that, let me give y'all the nutshell, right? So the first thing is ClickFunnels. Make sure that you understand ClickFunnels. You want to bring your people in. You need clarity. Right? You need clarity, and you need to understand who your customers are. Meaning, you need to understand clearly who they are, what they want, what they do, where they be at, where they stay at. You got to understand, right? And not only that, but one thing I would add to it is you want retention. So you can make $1 million one time, but if you can continue to keep making that same $1 million and you got retention, you good, you win there. I'll tell you this. You give a man fish, he'll eat for a day. You teach a man how to fish, he'll eat for a lifetime. But I always say this, if you teach a man how to own a pond, he'll never have to go to another man again. So with that being said, understand how to get that clarity, know who your customers are, and gain that retention. You feel me? Yes, sir.
The system, and just keep doing the system.
Of course.
Over and over.
So I want to go to the next thing because we got to wrap it up real soon, right? Cool. So I have a flash round, and you know how it is. I'm gonna give you 2 options, and you just choose one of them, right?
All right.
Okay, so the first one is gonna be credit or cash.
Credit.
Nice.
Credit. Straight up.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So it don't matter if it's $1 million.
I don't care if you try to give me $500,000. Give me $500,000 in credit. I'm going to flip that, get equity, go back to the bank, do a seller carry back. I'm going to tell y'all about that later. Credit.
Hey, man, listen up.
Because it ain't my money. Why use my money? Money is called liquidity.
Let's go.
You need liquidity because that means that's your life force. Credit, as other people credit. Let me tell you, credit because I have life insurance. It's an asset. When I die, none of my stuff gonna be paid off, but my life insurance gonna pay everything off. Everything gonna be passed to my kids debt free, and they gonna have my money on top of it. Boom, credit. They ain't get my money.
Okay. So education or motivation?
Lord, I gotta go with education, cause at the end of the day, you could be a motivated fool. You know what I'm saying? Motivated, running around in a circle, round and round. Yeah, educate me because knowledge is power. Yeah, if you motivated, but you motivated to, people that's a pedophile is motivated, do what he got to do.
Okay.
Feel me? So yeah, it got to be education, man.
And I'm an advocate for my Black history, right?
Yeah.
I believe having a rich mentality, you got to be rich in all aspects.
Yes.
You got to know your knowledge. You got to know what you got to know what you're doing, right? And I'm for all people, but I also love my Black history. So I got to ask you this:
All right.
Malcolm X or Martin Luther King?
Oh, Jesus, why you do that to me?
I got to.
Man, bruh, honestly, I have a dream.
Okay, Martin.
I have a dream that one day we would not be judged by the color of our skin, but by our content of our character.
Okay.
Martin said that everybody could be great because greatness is measured by service, and everybody could serve. And then he also was a preacher.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Martin Luther King was an advocate. The only reason that Martin Luther King did the civil rights movement was because he wanted to do something called the Civil Rights Act, which was a piece of legislation that went into the Constitution that still grants us the freedoms till to this day.
Yeah, truly anointed. Yeah. And I have two last ones.
Okay.
So the last one, so the second to the last one is going to be real estate or speaking.
Real estate.
Okay.
Because real estate is when you have an estate. Most people don't even know what that word means. That's your entirety of what you own. So real estate is the only thing in this world that can't go, you can't recreate land. You feel me? So yeah, real estate. Hands down, that's the only way to get to wealth. That's why I told him about the wholesaling thing. Real estate.
And the last one is time or money.
Time, period. If I was to die tomorrow, I don't have no more time. And my money could still go on because it passed to my children. Time.
Okay. So, with that being said, y'all already know what time it is. This is the Rich Mentality Podcast. So, before I conclude, I got to ask her the most important question of the whole podcast. What does it mean to keep a rich mentality to you?
Man, you ain't tell me you was going to die. That's a good one, man. Man, to keep a rich mentality to me, it is showing up in a space and being your authentic self and never changing or wavering based on what's around you. Because rich to me is rich in spirit, rich in mindset, rich in money, rich in... So what I mean by that, to break it down, because I'm a little deep sometimes, is some people could be rich in money and be around other people and change their energy because they're followers or because they're... So to me, to have a rich mentality, that's your mindset, right? That means that you are so wealthy in knowledge and who you are spiritually, mentally, physically, that you do not change who you are no matter what room you go in. Rather it's the lowest of the low or the highest of the high. You keep that same mentality. That's a real rich mentality.
I love it. Look, y'all got to keep that rich mentality in anything you do. Like I always tell y'all, whether it's monetary, whether it's emotional, whether it's mental, spiritual, whatever the case is, keep that rich mentality. So with that being said, y'all, we got to conclude it once again. My special guest, Shametria Gonzales. This was the Rich Mentality Podcast. Catch y'all next week. Peace.